as an organizer? I know it's a long list, but what is three things?
3 things that could have happened better. Oh, jeez.
Because you touched a little bit on it when you were saying how it was hard for all the different groups coming together.
I mean, it's hard for me to say could have happened better because I feel like the lessons that were learned were so critical. I feel like it was really important for Oakland to go through that. I mean, I think it's really important to note too, you know, if you look at Oakland's Occupy, it didn't look like any other Occupy anywhere in the country, and I think that was twofold. One is Oakland, right? The home, the birthplace of revolutionary movements, but it's also because of those alliances that were made. Right, and the agendas that were set, and so
during the alliances during the Oscar, that's right.
The Oscar grant movement set the stage for what happened here with Occupy. But I'm not answering the question. So yeah, we could have all worked together better. One of the things that really bothered me, like I said, I spent a lot of time on the media aspects, and while I am, and folks know, all about uncivil disobedience. And I'm really clear that power never concedes, right? They're not going to do what we want them to do because we ask them nicely. They're not going to get tired of being the ruling class. They're not going to get tired of the power, right? There's only one way that's going to go down. What we haven't figured out yet is how for the uprisings to be all that they were all that gets talked about, right? So Oscar repeatedly got lost in the story that was being told to the masses. And if we're not able to communicate to the masses who were scared of what was happening in the streets, even though it was righteous activity, they were scared. If we're not able to put those pieces together for them, right? That this is the only way that this goes down, and this is about Oscar and keeping Oscar here, then we're failing. And if we don't grow this movement past the folks in this room or past the 200 plus that were out today, right, and we keep only talking to each other, we're never going to build up the manpower we need to win. And I personally, I want to win. That's all I care about at the end of the day. I want to win. You know, I want my children to win. I want all of our children to win. And so we haven't figured that out yet. We haven't figured out how to build past the flash or in spite of the flash. And we don't have a strong enough control over the narrative, right? Because what the narrative was, and Occupy served to further, is here's all these crazy people out here breaking windows for no reason. No, there was a reason. There's a very good reason why the buildings were being broken, right? And so how we tell that story. I got in trouble by some folks during the Trayvon Martin stuff. Because every time a mainstream reporter has wanted to talk to me from Oscar on, one of the first questions is, well, what do you think about the broken windows? This is the first question. And I was at such a place of frustration around the Trayvon stuff, right? And this reporter from the, I think it was the Trib, something, asked me that. And I said, you know what, I'm really tired of talking about the windows. I mean, perfectly honestly, I don't care about the windows. I think it's unfair that you keep asking Africans as we sit here and watch our young men be slaughtered in the streets about some goddamn windows. Right? So that's what I think. Some of you here know I get a little hypey sometimes. So now we're to the crowd. And I relayed that conversation, and the media does what they did, right? Because I said the whole thing. I said, every time stuff like this happens, the first thing the reporters want to ask you about is the windows, and I'm tired of it, and I told them, why do you keep asking Africans about broken windows when you're slaughtering us in these streets? Maybe if you stop slaughtering us, we stop breaking motherfucking windows. Right. All the news showed was me screaming, break motherfucking windows. My phone blew up and stuff, but that's really the big thing, right, Tony, is finding ways to engage the masses and being able to broadly tell our story and put the analysis, the political analysis, why political education is so important, right? It's why political education open to the public, but it's got to be in a way that the youngsters that we're trying to reach, or even the elders we're trying to reach, can, digest it. Like a lot of us can sit in a room and we can pull out George Jackson's writings and sit there and analyze it, and et cetera, but a lot of our most impacted our community, right? How do we find a way to engage them, to intrigue them around that, right? And I'm not claiming to have the answer, But if we don't find an answer, we're going to continue to die. And
That's right. So let's go down the road with that before we open it up to the audience. Let's keep that question. What are some of the things that you would like to see happen now?
My
Yes.
turn?
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to go on the offensive, all right? I mean, we have been defending the lives of people who have already been slaughtered, right? And we have understood, and I think people are getting this, that it's not an accident, that we live in a society that is more and more polarized by wealth, right? And that the way in which the powers that be maintain that division of wealth and that monopoly of power is by using the police to murder and suppress and terrorize people, and using racism as a strategy, okay? Using racism as a strategy to divide people. You go to the white community, you say, oh, those crazy black people are doing this and that, and the police have to take care of them, put them in jail, shoot them, and so on. You know, Ann and I have been working up at Pelican Bay for the last couple of years. Ann a lot more than me. But people have...
So the hunger strike, right?
The hunger strike. We're representing those guys in solitary at Pelican Bay. And they have overcome racism. The prison officials thought they would mess with these guys by putting people who are supposedly in Aryan Brotherhood and other racist gangs, together with the Black Guerrilla family, together with Latinos from the north and Latinos from the south, and figured they'd just all kill each other. Well, over the course of years, they created a collective, and they overcame their racism, and they developed a political analysis which allowed them to take 30,000 prisoners from all races and nationalities out on a hunger strike. To me, that's the lesson that we have to learn. That we are divided, we lose. When we're united, we win. And we have to go on the offensive. To me, the great lesson of Occupy is the 99% versus the 1%. And we have to mobilize the 99% to fight against the system which uses racism to divide us, but more importantly, which justifies the lousy schools, the lousy housing, the denial of health care, the income inequality, and take back our community and create it in a model of democracy and parity and an end to violence and an end to racism. And to me, that's the lesson of what we've learned in the last many years, fighting each and every case of police abuse and murder.
Right on. So now the second question, what would you like to see happen now? I know you got a case, so ultimately, you know, I know that's the ultimate goal, but besides the case, what would you like to see happen now as far as, would you like to see some laws change, where the police held more accountable, or have a civilian review board, or what would you like to see happen now?
Having this up for in school. Asking anyone, you know, people die all the time, every day.
Coming together.